So you've stamped a beautiful card. Now what? Let me show you a few ways that you can decorate the envelope so they have a wonderful experience when they open it. So you've created a gorgeous card. You've taken the time to either stamp something a little bit more simple, you've colored it, you've added some dies, but the main part is that you stamped it. So there's all kinds of gorgeous cards. Let me show you a few different ways that you can add some gorgeous envelopes to your cards and why you might want to do that. So when you've taken the time to decorate a card, you put a lot of yourself into it. It's got a little bit of your heart, a lot of your talent, and it really is a gift that you're giving to somebody. So when you have your card, you've done the inside, you've done the outside. Now the next important thing is to do the envelope. So if you take just an envelope that coordinates, and I want to show you to stamp this one, but I'm going to show you a bunch of different ones at the end too. So stick around and make sure you stay till then. So the first thing you need are the stamps that you used. So let's pull those in. So this is the Terrific Toadstools, and this is a two-step stamp set, meaning that it's solid images and you create an image from a bunch of different images. So we're going to create our toadstools by using the base, the stem, and we're going to use the tops as well. We then need to have a piece of scratch paper because always when you're doing the envelope, you generally want to stamp off of the envelope. So I'm going to do the front of this envelope here, and I'm going to use the ink that we used and the colors. So this is Early Espresso and Gray Granite. So I have them both here. The next thing you need, of course, are all of the stamps. So let me pull those in as well. Now this particular stamp set has a lot of different stamps. And even though I only have one here, I'm going to show you to create sort of a whole forest of toadstools. You could go with just one. So I could do the exact same item, just the stem and the large cap here. But what I want to do is I want to create something along the bottom. So I'm going to use a variety. Now this is a photopolymer stamp set. So I also want to make sure that I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat. I keep a racked up old piece of grid paper on this that I'm going to stamp on. When this gets just really awful, I will replace it. But I'm also going to put that underneath. I could stamp without my scrap paper, but if you don't have a piece of grid paper on yours, this is what you would want to do. So make sure you have your scrap paper there, and we're going to stamp down below. Now what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to create the stems. So this big stem here, I'm going to stamp in a couple different places. And you want to use your stamp and move it around. So you want to have it be a little bit topsy-turvy almost. And we're now going to do the cap on that one. So I'm Gray Granite on top of there. And what's great about this one is that you can do it every which way. So this one I'm going to have it folding in. So we've got lots of big. Now we want to put a little bit of small. So you can consider some of these ideas for the way that you are going to stamp a card as well. And I'm going to put one down here as well. Pull in this little cap. That one can go here. And we're going to pull in this little cap, which is a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to, there's going to be some overlap here, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, because it's just going to look like a field by the time we're done. We're going to bring this guy in here, and we're going to bring this guy over here, and I think maybe up here as well. And then I'm just going to do the caps. And you can see how you're just creating, let's start over here, you're just creating a picture. And your picture is really quite cute in this case. And here I'm going to use a lighter finish. Okay, so I'm going to use the lightness here. And then I've got one more little guy. And we're going to put that down at the bottom in a couple places. And I'm also going to do it in brown. Okay, so now you've got a whole field of your mushrooms, of your toadstools, and it coordinates completely. So that's just one quick way that you can do it. Let me show you a bunch of other ways. So there's our first one that we just made. Now what about if you turned that over and did it on the flap? So you could do it on the flap so that when they open the card, that is what they're going to see. Another great way to do it. So flap, you can do the bottom, you can do the top, the side, just one individual. There's a bunch with this particular one. Now let me show you those other ones as well. So we have this one here, and here's the stamped envelope there. So even though we don't have the smaller butterflies on this card, we have it on the flap, and they're done in the same color. So there's another flap done that way. How about this guy here? So this one is colored, but what there are some explosion, and I did it in 2 colors here to match the colors on the hat. So there's an idea there. This guy here, this one is 2-step stamping as well. Our flowers are 2-step stamped. And so all I did on the flap for this one is I just brought it in from the side. I could have done it on the front as well, but I'm just doing it on the back for that one. And our sending hugs. So this one here, I did the exact repeat on the bottom, on the flap, and then I also stamped 2 little butterflies on the front. So when you take the time to do this, they're gonna love it. Now, what if you don't have colored ink? So here's a little note card. So this is very similar to this one, colored in, and I just use black along the very bottom of the envelope. So that's how you can do that guy. And if you have an open line, so here's another little note card here. And what I did with this one, we have this on the inside, but we have this black one here. There's what I did with the inside, or with the envelope. Very, very simple to do. But if you have the black one on the outside, you could also just do a little one right beside where the address is going to go. Or you can do just one on the envelope flap. So lots of variety there. Now if we have a little bit bigger one as well. So here's this card and then what I did there. So there are so many ways that you can dress up your envelopes to match your card. And it really is the way to say, I took an extra special amount of time to make a card specifically for you. So the next time you're rubber stamping a handmade card, make sure you don't forget the envelope. Thanks very much for joining me. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss another video, and head on over to my blog at www.designwithjo.ca and get yourself signed up for my email list. I share all kinds of exclusive things there that I don't share anywhere else. Come on and join us. Have a great paper crafting day. Bye-bye.